Numbers with another video, and welcome to this one. So we are at Willow Springs, and today I've chosen the Vey one mainly because I did lap in the 4C and did a race in it, and I'll show you that in a bit, but I wasn't very good. So I chose the Vey one mainly because no one else was picking it, and actually I wasn't that slow round, so I thought I'd give it a bash and see how we do. So I started the race and I'm starting in 12th. I actually qualified in the 4C and was quite up there, but that was a few days ago and I didn't do another qualifying lap. So clearly people have had a bit more practice and I haven't. So starting in 12th, down along the main straight, and hopefully have a good first corner. But before we do that, it's time for this week's massive tool award, which is today sponsored by UEFA, and the award today goes to me, for this. Thanks again UEFA for sponsoring. If you've got a job needing doing around the house, they'll just make sure your doors are all closed in a very discreet service and you'll be just fine. So coming around the first corner and relatively unscathed, no big problems. A chap just up behind having a look but not making a move. An Italian ahead of me who I stay behind for quite a lot of the race, but positions change quite a lot on this track because you can make a mistake very, very easily. As the guy in 9th, the Spaniard there clearly does. The Portuguese chap goes up the inside. It's a fair move, I was wide. No complaints about that. And this corner, it reminds me of the corkscrew on Laguna Seca on the old games, but it's not, but it's similar, if you know what I mean. So this corner coming round, and it's quite a difficult corner I found anyway to get right. It comes into this very long section. So I found that if you got that previous corner right, you could really hammer it round this bit into the start-finish straight, but not quite a good run out of it on that corner. And so I'm pushing just a little bit too hard, and this happens. Massive disaster. Just slung myself off the track, but also the Portuguese guy did, and just appear, fortunately, in only 12th, which is remarkable considering. So I guess the people must be making mistakes as this guy makes an attempt to pit or something. So a huge mistake, but having said that, only in 12th, and that was me. I felt bad for doing that. I didn't do it on purpose, but the chap had just appeared in the racing line and wasn't going very fast, which I guess was his fault, but it was my fault for coming into the back of him. If I hadn't wiped him out so badly, I would have given him his position back, but I think I'd been waiting there for a little while. Apologies if that was you, or if you somehow managed to see this video, it was a mistake. So in 11th, and I thought at this point just get some decent laps in and see what we can do. People are going to be making errors as they have in the first couple of laps, or the first lap and a half. So if I can just stay error-free, or massive error-free, then perhaps there's some positions that can be made up. And it does change, and we do make up a couple of positions, which is nice, as I do a purple sector. But I just had to make sure that I wasn't an idiot and spin off or crash into somebody again, and try and maintain a decent lap time. And onto the start-finish straight, so about 2 seconds behind the guy in 10, who I think has just been overtaken or just overtook somebody rather. So about 1.5 seconds behind this Italian, who is, I think, faster on a straight line than me, and actually ran the long, fast corners. But I make up some time in the tight corners on him, quite a lot. So it's a bit of a battle, but certainly within a distance in which I felt that I could make up some time on him and perhaps go for an overtake if the situation arises as he gets it slightly wrong but holds it together. And coming around, he is doing okay. I assume it's his steppies, but who knows. So this corner, if you can get on the power early as the guy in 10th resets, and this guy in 8th just drives straight onto the racing line, but never mind. We had enough time to avoid him. and make up a little bit of time, fortunately, probably because of the happenings, that the Italian is now a bit closer, probably had to avoid or slow down in order to avoid those guys. So don't want to make a big mistake, so take this corner relatively conservatively just to make it round. This chap in 7th just decides to have a lovely pleasant drive across the desert. Into the sand he goes, and I'm up into 8th position with the Italian up ahead. Now again, he makes up some time in these faster corners, but I'm firmly in his slipstream, sitting in it, so it's negligible, although he is now up to a 2nd. So again, just the plan, stay behind him, hopefully he'll make either an error or we'll make up the time as we go into the corkscrew of sorts, as he is not making any massive errors at the moment, but then again, neither am I. So into this, I think it's the most important corner. It's just about hold it together. Coming onto the sand there, it's really easy to do, and in fact you probably, if you get it right, if you kick up a bit of sand, you can probably make up a bit of time, but it's not something that I was prepared to risk given the big error that I'd made earlier on in the race. So I stayed firmly on the track so as to not spin off again and cause and undo all the hard work that I've basically done up until now. So in coming along fast, the start-finish straight, rather, get your words out. We are in 8th on the final lap, and unfortunately our Italian friend is making up a bit more time now as he kicks up a bit more sand but holds it together. So we just need, well rather I thought at the moment, just get this lap done. I'll be happy with 8th, that'll be fine from a position 13th, 12th, 13th where I started, so that would be fine. It's up a few positions. It only did one horrible thing to a guy by accident and managed to recover quite well from an awful mistake. And that actually, surprisingly, the plan works and transpires, and we don't have any more massive errors. But one guy does on the start finish straight, and we make it up into 7th position to end the race. So again, I could probably take this corner faster, but the guy behind me was a 2nd away, and if I spanned it up, he would have definitely overtaken me, and it would have been an utter disaster again. So coming along, and you'll see the Brit there just appearing, he must have gone off the track, as we come to end the race, and it will finish in 7th, which isn't a terrible thing to do. Now, as I mentioned before, I did run the race in the 4C, the Alfa Romeo, which is a really good looking car, but it just went really, really badly. I made a lot of mistakes and didn't race at all well. So what I have done is, rather than hide it, I've put it into a lovely fail montage, which you can all enjoy me messing up, and I'll just put it on in a moment. I'll see you next time.